So here we are again, guys. Another day, another massive piece of General Hospital news that has me staring at my computer screen at 2 in the morning, rubbing my eyes and wondering if I actually read that right. And honestly, I am just so tired. I have been covering this show for what feels like a million years at this point, and the Steve Burton drama is just a constant, never-ending loop. But this time it's not about vaccine mandates or contract negotiations or anything corporate like that. No, this time it is deeply personal. Let's talk about Steve Burton taking a hiatus from playing Jason Morgan, because the rumor mill is spinning completely out of control right now and I need to just brain dump all my thoughts before my head explodes. I really do. The big headline flying around right now is that General Hospital's Steve Burton is doing everything that he can to keep the peace in his real life. And who can blame him, right? I mean, who can actually blame the guy? There is heavy speculation going around that the actor who we all know and love as Jason Morgan on the hit ABC soap is desperately trying to avoid a nightmare divorce. He wants to save his marriage to his new wife, Michelle Lundstrom. They have only been married for 1 year. 1 year. That is supposed to be the honeymoon phase, you guys. That is supposed to be the easy part. But apparently things are rocky enough behind the scenes, or at least demanding enough, that Steve decided he needs to be at home. He needs to step away from the grueling soap opera schedule. And let's be real for a second. The soap schedule is absolutely no joke. These actors are learning pages and pages of dialogue every single day. They are on set for hours upon hours. It takes a massive toll on a person and on a family. So Steve decided to take a short break from filming General Hospital just so he can focus more time at home and of course with his wife. Michelle? It seems like he is needed more behind closed doors right now than he is on the set of Port Charles. And that is a hard pill for fans to swallow, but it is real life. Real life has to come first. It just has to. I can't even imagine how hard of a decision this was for him to make. While the decision wasn't an easy one to make, Steve knew that it had to be done. Steve knows the fans love him. He knows we want to see Stone Cold on our screens every single day, riding his motorcycle and saving the day. But he also knows that his family comes first. As much as his fans want to see him on the canvas, his wife Michelle and their family clearly need him at home too. That's why Steve chose his personal life over his professional one. He chose his real life over his fake mob enforcer life. Honestly, good for him. Maybe I'm being too soft here, but I respect it. I really do. He is trying to avoid a nightmare divorce because he already lived through one. Remember the Cherie Gustin divorce? Yeah, we all do. It was everywhere. It was messy, it was incredibly public, it was awful. She is the mother of his 3 children, and that whole split was just a media circus. A literal circus. Steve had to go through all of that very publicly while the whole internet weighed in on his personal tragedy. Nobody wants to repeat that kind of trauma. Nobody. So with Michelle, it is clearly different. There is no doubt that Steve absolutely loves Michelle and the life that they have built together. That's why he's doing everything that he can to keep it together. Even if it means he has to sacrifice a little General Hospital camera time in order to make it happen, he is putting in the work. But what does this mean for the show? Oh boy. Let's pivot to the on-screen mess, because the writers had to scramble, and you can tell they are scrambling. Jason Morgan was right in the middle of a massive, high-stakes storyline. He was supposed to be the knight in shining armor for Britt Westbourne. Britt is literally fighting for her life right now with this terrifying Huntington's disease medication plot. She is being blackmailed by Jen Sidwell and Ross Cullum to complete her father's final project or lose her life-saving medication. Jason and Britt had this whole grand plan to abscond to Canada. They were going to run away, hide out, and reverse engineer her meds. It was going to be epic. And I was actually loving this plot. I really was. Britt and Jason have such good chemistry together. They always have. But now the writers have to pivot hard. Because Steve needs his break. So what do? They have Dante Falconeri arrest Jason in the gym parking lot. Seriously. In the parking lot, on a WSB warrant, Ross Cullum is pulling the strings behind the scenes and now Jason is cornered. He can't leave for Canada. He can't save Britt. The whole grand escape plan is ruined. Just completely ruined. And the worst part, the absolute worst part of this on-screen exit, Dante arrests Jason right in front of Danny Morgan. Danny. That poor kid. Hasn't Danny been through enough trauma in his short life? Jason literally just had a heartbreaking conversation with Danny a few episodes ago, asking him how he would feel about living with his grandmother, Alexis Davis. Jason was trying to set up a guardian because he knew he was leaving town with Britt, but he didn't want his kid to see him hauled off in handcuffs like a common criminal. It is just so sad to watch. Dante tells Jason, "I'll do it, man. I'll find your kid." Like, okay, Dante, thanks for doing the bare minimum while you arrest your friend in a parking lot. I know Dante is just doing his job. I know he has a WSB warrant. He can't just let Jason walk away. But the emotional damage here is staggering. Jason is begging Dante not to make a scene. He just wants to protect Danny from seeing his father taken away. And now Jason is going to be ripped away from Port Charles, and we all know it's because Steve Burton needs to go home to Michelle. The real world bleeds into the soap world, and it is always a little jarring when it happens this abruptly. Meanwhile, Britt is waiting on Pier 55. She has the stolen meds from Lucas Jones. Lucas just risked his life, his literal life, to get those vials for her. Britt is warning Lucas about how dangerous Ross, Cullum, and Pascal are. She thinks she is about to get on a plane or a boat or whatever to Canada with Jason. She is waiting for her savior. But Jason isn't coming. Jason is in police custody, or worse, WSB custody. Cullum is probably going to kidnap him. That is the running fan theory right now on social media. Cullum kidnaps Jason, puts him on ice somewhere in a dark WSB black site, and that explains Steve's absence for the next few months. It is classic soap opera writing. I hate the WSB storylines sometimes. I really do. They get so convoluted and messy. Cullum, Jack Brennan, the Five Poppies, all of this spy nonsense. But it works as an exit strategy, I guess. If Cullum takes Jason, it gives Steve his months off to save his marriage. But what about the people left behind in Port Charles? What about Sonny Corinthos? Jason just promised Sonny he was going to take out Cullum. They made a pact. Sonny gave him the serious mob boss look. Sonny is going to lose his mind when he finds out Jason is gone again. He's already making questionable decisions by hiring Rick Lansing as his criminal defense lawyer and pushing Diane Miller aside. Sonny without Jason is always a disaster waiting to happen. And Carly. Don't even get me started on Carly right now. Carly is busy playing house with fugitive Valentine Cassadine, complaining that Valentine doesn't give her a heads up about his bold surprise plans. Well, guess what? Carly Jason didn't give you a heads up either, because he's currently being dragged off by Dante. Carly is going to insert herself into this Jason mess. She always does. It is practically a law of physics in Port Charles. She will probably blame Brennan or Cullum and try to go rescue Jason herself, dragging Jocelyn and everyone else down with her. The fans on social media are already panicking. I have seen so many tweets and posts from people saying they are going to stop watching if Jason is gone again. What were they thinking? Who actually believes this is going to end well? But guys, calm down. Take a breath. Take a deep breath. Steve Burton is a man of his word. Plus, if there is anything that we've learned about Steve over the years, it's that he's definitely a man of his word. When he says that he will be back over the summer, you better believe that he will be back. He isn't leaving forever. This isn't a permanent exit like the last time. He just needs a few months to save his marriage and avoid a nightmare divorce. We should be supporting him as humans. Yes, the show will suffer a bit. The storylines will have to stretch to fill the void. We might have to watch more of Jen Sidwell taunting Mayor Laura in her office, demanding she say thank you while blackmailing her. Or we might have to watch more of Willow keeping Drew locked in a paralyzed state with that undetectable drug, which is a whole other nightmare plot I can't even get into right now because it makes my blood boil. Drew is literally trapped in his own body, blinking SOS, and nobody is saving him. It is horrifying. But back to Steve. So far, Steve Burton himself has not made any comments about the matter, although at this point it's doubtful that anything will be said. He is a private guy when it comes to the real nitty-gritty of his personal life. He puts out his podcast with Bradford Anderson, he talks to the fans about the show, but he keeps his marriage to Michelle private. And that is probably for the best. If you want to save a relationship, you don't do it in the tabloids. You do it at home behind closed doors, putting in the actual work. I will keep watching. I will keep writing these massive rambling blog posts because I can't help myself. I care about this show. I care about these characters way too much. I want Jason to come back and save Britt. I want him to take down Cullum. I want him to be a father to Danny. But for now, we have to wait. We have to watch this space. I have a feeling there is so much more to come, both on-screen and off-screen. We will definitely update you with all of the latest details the moment they come in. But for now, let's just send some good vibes to Steve and Michelle, and hope that Jason Morgan survives whatever WSB dungeon Ross Cullum is about to throw him into. Okay, that sounded dramatic, but you get what I mean. See you guys tomorrow.